We are holding by the eve, so to speak, tomorrow night will be Rosh Chodesh Adar Sheni, or Adar Beis. Tomorrow night will be the real head of the month for this month of Adar. This year was a leap year, we had 2 months. Normally we have 1. And there's a very famous saying, Misha Nichnas Adar Marbin B'Simcha. When we enter the month of Adar, we have to increase our happiness. What does that mean? What does that mean? It certainly does not mean more alcohol. It certainly does not mean things of, a nature of things that get us happy just momentarily. It's got to be a real happiness. What does that mean? If you look through the Torah, very seldomly does the Torah use the word Simcha. We use it when it's associated with like a holy day. We talk about Sukkot, you're supposed to be v'samachta b'chagecha. And believe it or not, when the Torah uses the word Simcha, it's used in a very surprising way. In Parshas B'chukosai, where it talks about all of the curses that can befall the Jewish people, we know all those terrible and scary psukim. At the end of the whole thing it says, the reason why all of these things may come to you, it says, Tachas asher lo varatas Hashem lokecha, it's because you didn't serve Hashem your God, b'simcha, uvetuv leiv, with happiness, right? So happiness ought to be very, very important if every bad thing that comes upon us is because we're not happy, or we didn't serve Hashem. We didn't serve Hashem with happiness. What is this happiness that we're talking about? Let's divert for a moment. In 2 weeks, we're going to be learning the Megillah. We're going to all hear about the story of Purim, and we're going to hear about the character of Haman. And Haman, is known to be Amalek, of course. Excellent. Jealous, miserable, angry, never enough, always wants more. I mean, the guy had everything in the world. He had riches, he was wealthy, he was close with the king. Everyone bowed down to him just because of one Jew doesn't bow down to him. His life is over. I mean, nobody could comfort him, not his wife, not his daughters. What's up with this guy? How does that happen? So Haman, as Chava just told us, comes from Amalek. Right? We know that he was a descendant of Amalek. Amalek were people that were notorious to believe that everything in this world happens by coincidence. Right? They are a nation that we are required to get rid of, because they are totally the opposite of belief in a God. They believe anything that can happen was by coincidence. So much so that they were the nation that saw all of these open miracles in Mitzrayim, the 10 Makos, the plagues, the splitting of the sea, for heaven's sakes. And right away they started with the Jewish people. It was nothing. It was the winds were coming this way and that way, and So Haman had his DNA from these kind of people. Now, when a person believes in that way of life, he's never happy. Why is he never happy? Because he always has a mindset of, listen, why can't I get the luck of the draw? Right? We know Haman was also very into this roulette, of picking lots and things. Why not me? Right? Like the person who's working in an office, and he walks by and he sees, 1 or 2 offices where the person sitting there has a higher job than him, and his whole day is miserable. Why not me? Why can't I have that too? That thought process only happens from a person who believes that everything that happens is by chance. So if it happens by chance, I'm jealous of you. Why did you get it? Why did you get it? Why not me? Back to the beginning of the talk when we spoke about Simcha. A person who believes that God created the world, God gave you what you need to succeed in this world, God gave you the family you need, the situation you need, the job that you need. If a person believes that, he's not in a situation where he's saying, but why can't I have that? Why can't I have that? Why can't I have that? God gave him everything he needs. Simcha means more to be content than to be happy. A person lives with that feeling of Hashem gave me what I need. I believe in Him. I have a relationship with Him. He's helping me grow. Both the good things that come to me, the challenges that come to me, He's content. Mishanichnas Adar Marbin B'Simcha means we're coming to this month of Adar. We're going to see these behaviors of Haman on one hand, who was miserable and jealous, and look what that led to. And we're going to see the behavior of Mordechai, the tzaddik, who lived very simply and very happily. And our job is to increase that belief and bring us that simcha. Just last week, I was in Boston Children's Hospital. I've been there a few times. And I go sometimes to sing for children that are sick. There was a boy who was flown in from Israel who couldn't breathe on his own, completely paralyzed. And, we sang for him. His mental capacities were completely there. In fact, he's a brilliant boy who wrote books, basically with his eyes and an iPad, on very complex topics in Talmud. And believe me when I tell you that the smile that this boy had on his face, from beginning to the end, was something I've never seen before. And he obviously was someone who, believed. He was such a believer that I could be in this situation here in a hospital. I can't move my arms, I can't move my legs, but the ultimate believer of this is what Hashem wants for me. What a lesson for us to be able to take something like that and to say, look, if this boy could be smiling to no end and encouraging all the people that were around him that are so healthy, that is the simcha that we're talking about. So we should all be zochet to Mishanichnas Adar, Marbin B'Simcha. We should be content, we should be happy, we should believe, and spread that to everyone else around us. Have a happy Purim.